Mind the culture gap, y'all. What's up, y'all? Hello, everybody. How is everybody? How you doing, everybody? How's everyone doing? How you doing? How you doing? What do you say? What do you know? Welcome to Mind the Culture Gap, which is the Hickson Diaries live stream podcast. We talk about my life as an American living here in the UK. Culture shocks, tips and tricks on how to actually survive this country, living in England. Specifically, that's where I live. Also learning about the rest of the UK, history, all that kind of stuff. Whatever you guys want to talk about. And for the most part, what we do is respond to your comments and to have some interactions about some of the things that you guys have to say about some of the topics we talk about here. So this week we are going to talk about the Count Binface versus Farage election and your clarifications, your comments, and etc. on that, so I can learn a little bit more about that stuff, because that's hilarious. And also, we are all going to talk about your thoughts that you had on the senior year video that I did. Some schooling that you guys did to me on that as well, with the culture shocks from the schools in the US versus the UK. And later on, for our members, we are going to take a walk with John Rogers tonight, which is always fun, always informative, and always a nice, peaceful, calm time. So make sure you hit your like button, share the stream if there's somebody out there that you think might enjoy this conversation, and send in your questions, comments, queries, concerns, super chats, and all that stuff so we can read them out as we go. Thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it. For those of you who might be new, my name is Mandy, and I love having you here because life is always better when you're there. No joke. Seriously, life is better when you're there. I still have shows better when you're there. Yes, I have it. It's good. Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay, so let's jump right in. So we were talking about this Count Binface and this Farage thing. I am still kind of trying to understand whether it's a troll. My biggest question was, is it a troll? Is the thing that I reacted to, was it actually was it a legit news outlet, or was it like a satire that I just wasn't getting? Or is this like something else behind the scenes? Somebody mentioned that it's like an ongoing thing with that character specifically, but also with this like loony party or something. So we're going to read some of your comments and stuff about that. And of course, if you know anything or you have tidbits for me to help clarify for me, please put them in the chat and I will definitely get to them as soon as we can. Just seeing if there's anyone I missed in the pre-show, saying hello. Hello, Richard. Piper is here. Yay! It's so good to have you back, Piper. Marge is here. Hello, glad to have you. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. So tonight we are going to talk about why the BBC news programs have to treat a man that has a silver garbage can on his head like a serious politician. I am still baffled by this phenomenon, this Count Binface phenomenon. I can't believe it's a thing. Maybe I'm convincing myself it's not really a thing because I don't want to accept it because nothing like this would ever have any like legit airtime or anything on the US. But I definitely, you guys are telling me that it's satire, not necessarily trolling. So I wanted to jump into that real quick first, if y'all don't mind. Let's bring up the comments. That would make life better. Okay, here we go. Okay. So here are some of the comments about because my question was, I assumed he was trolling. And then they were asking him like legit questions and treating him like he was a legit guest / candidate. So I'm a lot confused. Let's just keep it real. I am a lot confused tonight. Okay. So Harold Schuster says, equating Binface to an internet troll misses the fundamental mechanics of what he does. Fair. That's why I'm here to learn. Though it is easy to see why someone might draw that comparison initially. Both trolls and satirical political candidates use disruption, absurdity, and humor to provoke a reaction. This happens more than once? Like, has this happened more than once? Has he run more than once? I have to find out. He contested the 2021 and the 2024 London mayoral elections and stood against the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, in Richmond and North Allerton at the 2024 election. Binface stood at the 2026 Makerfield by-election, which was won by Andy Burnham, and is the primary contender against Nigel Farage. He originally stood as an independent, but his affiliation since has been the Count Binface Party. Okay. So is it because it's something about, well, maybe you guys will answer me. So let's finish reading our comments. But if you guys know, this is my question, and hopefully y'all have the answer. I think that someone had mentioned in the comment section, or maybe during the last live stream, what you can basically just have a certain amount of money and just like run for an office. Like you don't necessarily have to have it is so hard to run for office in the United States. You have to have an exorbitant amount of money. You have to have a certain amount of name recognition. And I think there's other more like very specific, like legal kind of thresholds you have to reach in order to actually be considered a viable candidate. So this is so strange and alien to me, but I'm in it. I'm so in it to my balls now. Okay. Their motives, methods, and underlying goals are entirely different. Accountability and face-to-face engagement. Trolling is usually characterized by anonymity, disingenuousness. Moving on. A troll aims to provoke emotional distress, anger, or confusion for their own amusement, often hiding behind a screen or failing to stand behind their own provocations in the real world. Anonymity is key to trolling. Count Binface, Harvey operates under transparently ridiculous persona, a 5,900-year-old space warrior from planet Sigma. All right, he stands in physical high stakes public elections, faces journalists. Yeah, that's my thing. Okay. That's why I'm trying to figure it out, because I thought it was a troll, but obviously, like, if he's allowed to go on these platforms and stuff, he can't be, right? Trolling is nihilistic and usually to derail the conversation, right? Count Binface, we know that, don't we, guys? Those of you who have been here for a little while, we've had our encounter with some trolls, haven't we? Count Binface is absurdity is used as a vehicle for satire and democratic engagement. Underneath the jokes about capping the price of a 99-cent ice cream with a flake or introducing national service for former prime ministers, his campaigns consistently champion a sincere message that democracy is rare and a precious thing. Whoever you vote for, vote. Which I love that. I'm on board with that message, definitely. It's one of the few powers we have left as people. Constructive subversion versus destruction. Trolls tear down spaces without offering anything constructive. Novelty candidates in the UK use their platform to highlight real systemic absurdities and inequalities. Furthermore, Binface's campaigns actively raise thousands of pounds for charity. I didn't know that. That's awesome. Rather than mocking democracy's core thesis is a critique of real-world politicians who have made a mockery of politics, using humor to push people back. In short, while Troll wants to burn the house down just to watch people get out, Count Binface dresses up as an alien to point out the house is already messy and urges everyone to participate in cleaning it up. And I have no doubt that in the unlikely case of him getting elected, he put some actual work in, unlike Farage. Interesting. Thank you so much for that, Harold Schuster. Thank you so much for that explanation. It actually helps clarify a lot for me. So his intent is to be disruptive, but also to like rally people. That makes more sense. Monkey of Code. Okay, Monkey of Code 71 says he's using satire and absurdism to highlight the hypocrisy, spin, and empty promises of much of politics, similar to what Harold was saying. A satirist does it to show the absurdity that the emperor has no clothes. He stood there against Theresa May in the general election. He stated during a debate that the election was being called on Brexit and the negotiations, and the one thing that she said nothing about what she thought Brexit should look like. As he said, it will be an utter S show. His position was, my position would be, 1, negotiate an adult, sensible way to create the best thing for Britain economy, not politically for the right wing of the Tory party. And 2, I would urge Earthlings to think twice because you all are so small. One minute Britain wants to leave Europe, next Scotland wants to leave Britain. The next Edinburgh will probably want to leave Scotland. It's mad. I've seen the asteroid that's coming to hit you all. If I were you, I would stick together. I love it. Oh, that was brilliant. I love it. Thank you for sharing that with me, Monkey of Code. Denise Roundtree says, historically, it was normal for court jesters to be little kings. That is very true. I didn't think of that. This is kind of along that tradition. That makes complete sense to me now. Yes, and they were often the most trusted of confidants of many of the kings and queens as well, because they were the ones who could be honest 100%. They used their wit and satire to comment on current events and politics. They were the only ones who could openly criticize the monarch without facing severe punishment, and allowed them to speak truth to power. Count Binface is a jester for Sigma 9, and now I don't know what Sigma 9 is. Now Farage has to try and frame him as the establishment, and it's delicious. It is delicious. I'm loving it. It's fantastic. Farage looks like a complete idiot, even more so than before. Totally agree, Denise. Thank you for your comment. Shakespeare says, the man behind Count Binface is Jonathan Harvey, a middle-class Oxford graduate who worked as a writer on television shows such as BBC's political comedy, The Thick of It. His brand of sophisticated satire chimes with the middle-class university graduates who work in the media. They recognize him as one of their own. So when Count Binface declares in his manifesto, I will cut your taxes and raise everyone else's, he comes across a serious commentator on the state of politics rather than just an entertaining joke candidate. Well said. You guys are on this. Thank you guys for all of that extra insight. That is like... It's still baffling to me because it wouldn't exist in the US. They don't have the same types of laws that you do here in the UK. In the US, they have laws that are more like, you could just do whatever you want. Like corporations could do whatever they want in the United States. There's really no like guardrails or anything on it. I think they used to have like the equal time law and everything, but most people don't abide by it. There are candidates that aren't even invited to debates in the United States, even for president. It's ridiculous, but it's the truth. Disco says, I don't know anything. I'm irrelevant whilst I'm on here anyway. Always, at least once, right? At least once. Oh, you guys, with your British terms. Okay. I hope this eclipse is better than 1999. Oh yeah, you all gonna do. I've heard we're only gonna get to see from where we are in Kent, that we're only gonna get to see like part of it or something. We're gonna try though. Probably hurt my eyes. It'll be like Trump and look directly in the sun. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Disco. I appreciate it. Piper says, Manny, you're absolutely right. Manny says that Disco is not irrelevant. I think we can all agree, that especially those of us who have been on this for a really long time, that Disco is very much relevant to all of our conversations. Way too much to offer. I agree with you, Manny. Thank you. Piper says, I hope Binface wins. Binface for Prime Minister. Roy Cousin says, I hope Farage gets binned. Manny says, Count Binface was also president when Andy Burnham won the Makefield by-election. We did hear that from one of the comments. Thank you for clarifying. Ewan Vanek says, Tony Blair was the last UK prime minister to win consecutive general elections. Really? Huh, that's a long time ago, guys. You guys are struggling with finding a prime. I say you guys. It's not really like the voters and the workers. You're the ones who keep saying they're not doing good enough. It's that the people that they're putting up are not doing good enough. Piper says, sorry that I sometimes just disappear. I just get quite busy with life stuff. You don't need to apologize ever, Piper. It's totally cool. We understand life is important. I can't believe he's legit. Like, I can't believe that. Is there a real possibility that he could win? And then what would happen? Like, if everyone did vote for him, what would happen then? In that, is it a county election? All of those constituents. Roy Cousin says, are you saying that crazy people don't get voted for the US? That's not what I said. I said you have to be a legitimate candidate to get any recognition by the news outlets and stuff. Although with independent news now, it's a little bit different. Disco says, he is similar to Screaming Mad Lord Such, but we just don't know what he looks like. Yeah. I mean, does it matter what he looks like? Honestly, does it freaking matter? Like, I don't care what anyone looks like. If they're going to be an effective leader, they got my vote, period. Well, it's not. That's not exactly true. It's a little more complicated than that for my vote, but anyone can run for a member of parliament. It's so nuts. Richard says you have to put up. Richard said you have to put up 500 pounds and get some signatures. Yeah, that's it though. That's crazy. That's like nothing. And that, like, he's raising a lot of money for charity and he's trying to give money. Like, it's just fantastic. Disco says Binface is no different than having Reagan as president. Fair. Joe M says, it seems to me that this Count Binface is wasting his time by making a mockery of the electoral and democratic process, just a rhinoceros party here in Canada. What's the rhinoceros party in Canada? I assume you're saying like rhinos like that need to like go extinct. But I don't know that he's making a mockery. I think that the mockery, in my opinion, this wouldn't even be happening if Farage didn't try to like pull a fast one and resign and then get reelected, kind of BS, in order for him to not talk about this, huge gift that he got given. So, I mean, that's my opinion, and I'm not a Farage fan, but for a lot of reasons, not just that. But you know what? Also, like, I hear what you're saying, Joe, and I don't want to dismiss your comment at all. I appreciate it very much. I don't know. I mean, yeah, c'est la vie. That's what you think. That's what you think. Disco, thank you so much for gifting a membership. I appreciate that. I don't know what 200 joules is in German, but I'm appreciative of whatever it is. Thank you so much for all of your support. You are an incredible supporter of the channel. Manny says you can pay up to £500 to stand in one of these elections, and providing you get enough votes, you get your £500 back. But if you fall short, sadly, you don't get any of it back. But even so, like, even if it was your own money, £500 isn't really that much of an investment. That's like giving up a vacation, you know, or a couple nights away. So for me, like, if you have a chance to, if you really believe in like getting Farage out, just because that's the election we're talking about, if you really believed in that, then £500 investment is not really that much to raise, right? Or even of your own money. If you really truly believed in it, it's an investment. It just depends on how much you love the cause, right? Wasn't he Buckethead? Was that another one? Oh, I can't keep up. The other thing was a bin to win was mentioned a lot in the comments on that video. So I wanted to talk about that for a minute as well. Let me get rid of this one and get rid of the new one. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, there is a very, very slim hope, apparently among some people in the Clacton, is that how you say it? Area. That Binface may actually lose, or at least like make a pretty good showing of it. And that would, like, I don't know, to me, that would be pretty humiliating for the establishment, right? And I'm a very anti-establishment person, so I love this. But I'm curious about what some of y'all said in the comments as well. So Egress says it's really all, it's real, probably meaning it's real. Although the 1001 faces of British politics is real, and that's the exact beauty of this, is what real democracy is supposed to be like. Count Binface is here to remind the public that we have a choice and the decision lies in our hands. Well, in this case, in Clacton's hands. But to be honest, even if Binface loses the election, he has still won in so many ways. Love that comment. Thank you so much for it. Beautifully put. Beautifully put. And I love that you have that opportunity to remind people, because I think one of the things that's disillusioning so much in United States politics for those people that participate, or even a demotivator for people to not participate, is that you can't, everything just seems like rhetoric. Like, you don't know who you can trust. You don't know, like, you feel like you have no power, especially when it comes to presidency because of the electoral college. So it feels almost like you're, you know, it's a waste of time. So why do it? When it is actually one of the most important things that we can do as a democratic society, any form of democracy. I love that. Thank you for reminding us of that. And thank you to Count Binface for bringing us to our attention. Roybot says, vote for the bin, not for the rubbish. All hail the Count. Well said. Robert Lansdale. The funny thing is that the policies are achievable. So if he fulfills them, he will probably be the most successful politician ever. It's serious. Isn't it interesting? Would he have to wear his, like they were saying in the interview that I was watching, the Newsnight interview, that they were creating a law where he would be able to wear that costume, but now there's currently a law where he can't wear that costume because there's some kind of dress code, which is weird to me, but probably some kind of British tradition, right? You guys have lots of tradition. So wouldn't it be interesting if he like wore that in the parliament? So funny. All right, Simon O'Leary says the man behind Count Binface's comedy writing. Yep, we talked about that a little bit. Amongst his credits are Have I Got News for You, The Thick of It, Yes Minister, and the US show Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. I know all of those except for The Thick of It. If you look at Binface's manifesto promises, may seem ridiculous, but they are often a pointed dig at the failures of modern politics. Two of his latest promises, obvious digs at Farage's failures, are to spend more time in Clacton than DC, love it, and to not accept money from crypto billionaires on Earth, love it. P.S. I really, really want Binface to win. Firstly, because I think he will take the job seriously and try to promote and improve Clacton. Secondly, because it will destroy the credibility of Farage and reform. Thirdly, because I think it will take a week for me to stop laughing. I think all three of those are totally legitimate reasons to want him to win, and I support it. I am, as I mentioned, I'm not a fan of Farage, so I think he might have like severely damaged the reputation anyway. No, or is that just wishful thinking on my part? Roy Cousins says Buckethead and Binface are the same guy. Love it. Why did he change? Was the bin just easier? He got to wear a stormtrooper uniform. I swear it's a stormtrooper uniform that's like spray painted black or silver or gray, whatever. I can't remember exactly what color it is. Richard said when Farage went to a staged event, people shouted "Vote Binface" at him. Oh, I love it. Sorry, guys. I love it. I'm not trying to sway your vote at all. You guys always vote your conscience by any means, especially if you're in that area. You obviously you can't vote unless you're in that area for this particular election, but always vote your conscience, of course. That is not like I never want anyone to think that I'm trying to sway them one way or another. I just want to learn and I educate. I give my opinion based on and my reasoning that my opinion is based on it so that you guys can draw the conclusions that work for you. I hope no one ever feels like I'm trying to sway them. He was Lord Buckethead. It's so funny, Roy. Thank you for clarifying, guys. Richard says the next thing is corporations will be allowed to run for president. In the US, they pretty much do. Like, they pretty much decide who the presidential candidates are. And that's where the United States has been stagnant for decades because their endorsements decide the presidential candidate. Our primaries don't really. Our primaries matter, but not as many people show up in the primaries as is in the final election. And the primaries is where you can actually vote for, the non-mainstream, the non-establishment candidates. But it's a lot of people don't get recognition. A lot of people don't know about the elections. The primaries are happening and all that kind of stuff. But there has been a surge in the United States in the last year or so about getting out of incumbents. So hopefully that'll help. We'll see. What November brings, because this year is a midterm election. So in the United States, we don't have elections randomly like you guys do. Manny says, I'm really excited about tomorrow's partial eclipse, and in London we'll get to see approximately 91% of the sun obscured by the moon. I've got my eclipse glasses and iPhone filters ready. I have nothing ready. I'm going to have to work on that. FIFA for president, Marcia says. I think we've already achieved that one. Man, did you get any of those eclipse glasses? If not, use a colander and a piece of A4 paper. What's A4 paper? I think, yeah, I know it is. Okay, 8.5 by 11. Okay. Or to be safe, watch it all live streamed on the BBC News channel from 5 p.m. tomorrow. Mandy for MP. Oh my God. Could you imagine? They'd never ever vote for a Yank in Kent, please. Ewan says Screaming Lord Such or Such? I don't know what that is. I'm sorry. In reference to. Piper says, I think someone correct me if I'm from anyone. Our system is like this because party leaders came about naturally rather than being baked into law. It wasn't official for a long time, just something naturally done and came about. Could be. You guys definitely have a multi-party system, and I'm envious of that from an American point of view. Joe M says, perhaps I should have mentioned that Wikipedia has an explanation of the Rhinoceros Party in Canada. May I invite you to check it out at your own leisure? I will. I know a little bit about Canadian politics, but not a ton. A podcaster that I follow who is in Canada, he comments on US and Canadian and international as well, but primarily US and Canadian politics. So I know a little bit, but I don't know a ton. You're not allowed to wear a suit of armor in House of Parliament. Would that be considered a suit of armor? I guess Binface's outfit. Watch Monty Python's election special. Got it. Most of them spend their day asleep. Most of our politicians spend their days fundraising. I'll go into politics for £5 million. Okay, I'll consider it. If you're offering it, Marcia. Manny has a public service announcement to everyone who's watching a partial eclipse. Please keep your eclipse viewers on throughout to prevent permanent damage to your eyes, and only use viewers that are ISO 12. I'm just going to put that up there. Use the TV. I think that's a good idea. Let's use the TV. Hello, F11. Glad to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us. Rory Cousin says, Buckethead, what is an American rock guitarist who wears a KFC bucket jammed down on his head? So stupid. Oh, one of the first female MPs was an American, Lady Astor. For real? Maybe I will run for office, guys. Just saying, maybe. Hello, virtual trucker. Thank you for being here. If Britain had unlimited space, what would you transfer from America to make your life better here in Britain? Ooh. Oh, that's interesting. I would probably transfer like the Midwest. Hear me out. It is positively gorgeous. You have the plains that go right into mountain, like tall mountain ranges that are right on the other side of the mountain ranges are just vast deserts. I mean, it's just absolutely gorgeous. The views are insane. There's no place. I mean, I'm sure there's places like it in the world, but it's just gorgeous. I mean, that's one of the most beautiful places that I've seen. I didn't even get to see a lot of it, but you literally like no light pollution or anything. Like it is, you literally feel like you're in old world. So I'm sure there are places like that in other places of the world, but that's probably something I would transfer because it's also very, not only is it gorgeous and picturesque and all of that, but it's also very, very American. So it's the way it's laid out with the plains and the mountain ranges and the desert. I don't think there's any place like that where it's got that like in such a small inkling. And all the beautiful views and everything that comes with it, with all the canyons and everything. So that's probably something that I would transfer over. Although, Alaska I hear is great and Hawaii is fabulous. So or maybe air conditioning. But that's just because we're about to enter our fifth heat wave in Kent, and we desperately need it. Richard says, "Can you transfer Valley Girls?" Oh my god! Like, totally, I'll do that for you. Why not? I love that for you. My cousin says, "I think Mandy would transfer the Wild Turkey Distillery to Kent." Actually, I'd make it mandatory for every establishment that serves alcohol to have Wild Turkey on hand for me. If I was an MP, that would be my first law. Oh, jeez. Anyways, let's talk about senior year. The senior year the senior year video. So, my kid's in a couple weeks is going to be entering her last official year of school. She's going to do college or sixth form, one of them, and then she's aspiring to at some point someday go to university, maybe. So I did a video kind of talking about what the last year of school looks like here, that I'm learning anyway, versus what the last year of school looks like in the United States, or at least what I experienced in the last year. And a lot of the viewers were really quick to point out the like linguistic and cultural divide between graduation in the United States versus UK finishing school, which has a whole different connotation in the United States as well. So I thought maybe we can get into some of these comments as well. I have to learn how to do this properly. Okay. Am I in the wrong one? Wrong one. Hold, please. There we go. Okay. So okay. TSAS says, graduation ceremony is a university thing, which is, some people had informed me of that, and that was a little bit strange for me to hear. You don't graduate from high school, you leave or finish high school. New Zealand experienced most likely a former British Empire system. Never thought about how strange the US grad from high school thing was when seeing it on US TV shows. I expected what I was seeing. I think you mean accepted what I was seeing. It's just that in the United States, high school graduation is just like a rite of passage. It's one of those things that like, it's like going to your first football match here, or I guess like getting your first job. I mean, I suppose leaving school is similar, but you just don't have the pomp and circumstance that surrounds it. And it's such a big deal in the United States because of that pomp and circumstance, and because of it happens at the time that you're turning into you're officially an adult and everything as well in the United States, except for if you want to drink. Whole nother segment. But I think that is why like it's just such a big deal. And then usually a lot of people go off to college/university. That's what it is in the United States. And that is a big turning point, like that whole year where you're like officially an adult and you're done with school until you start like the next chapter of your life. And that summer is like a big deal as well. So that's why, I mean, it is real. It really does happen. And it really is a huge deal in the United States. Lynn Esserman says, please clarify that you're speaking about what happens in England and not the whole of the UK. It's really difficult to do that, Lynn, in every single statement that I make. Like it would be an hour long video every time. So it is, I say the UK sometimes just for efficiency purposes, but also sometimes I don't know that it's an exclusive thing to one area of the UK or not. And also sometimes it's just marketing. I'm just being real. But we still call the ending of high school education, whether it be choosing the option to leave at the end of the 4th year, age 16, or at the end of the 6th year, age 18, finishing, not graduating. I never said it was graduating. I said she's not going to get to graduate because she's not in the US, and that's a graduating thing. That's different. That's what it is in the United States. So when you finish high school, when you finish your last year of school, whether it be whatever you want to call it, that's graduating high school in the United States. So when I say graduating high school, that's what I'm talking about. Graduating is after earning a diploma or degree, and you get a high school diploma when you graduate in the United States, also for clarification. And a further education institution, such as college or university. To call it finishing high school graduation is purely American term and demerits the recognition of hard work that has been put in at further education at college or university. Well, I appreciate your comment, Lynn, and I hope I clarified it a little bit, but I don't think it diminishes the recognition of hard work, because you have to work very hard to get a high school diploma in the United States. Well, relatively hard. It's not like something that's just handed to you. And you still get a different diploma when you graduate college or university in the United States as well. And if you go to postgraduate, master's, or a PhD, then you get additional diplomas. So I don't think it's diminishing it in any way. It's recognizing that you've spent 12 years working, in this educational system. So I'm a little bit, I appreciate your comment and your point of view, but I don't think, I disagree with you, that's all. But I always appreciate counter opinions. It's what keeps us going. Northumbergoal says, regarding diplomas, UK students don't receive them. Instead, they get individual certificates for each subject they pass. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. So it's such as GCSE at age 16 and A-levels at age 18. These generally come in post direct from the various examination boards. We find the whole diploma thing with a ceremony akin to university, proper graduation rather than overblown and so American. Okay. I appreciate that. I appreciate your comment, and I know you're just being cheeky. That's cool. I didn't know they got individual certificates. So if they take a GCSE in maths, then I said maths, just FYI, for all of you out there who complain about me not saying yes. I say, so if she takes a GCSE in maths, and she'll get a certificate in that. And then if she takes one in English, she'll get one in that, etc. Okay, I guess. I don't know. See, to get your high school diploma, that certificate represents that you've hit certain grade levels and achievement levels in said criteria. So like you have to hit a certain level in math, you have to hit a certain level in English, you have to hit a certain level in science, etc. If you don't hit all of those levels, you can't graduate. So even if you are like one subject, you're not doing well, you're failing or something like that, then you can't get your high school diploma. You have to hit them all in order to get your diploma. So it's actually like, you have to work for it. It's not just handed to you. It's similar to GCSEs. You have to study for it, and you have to actually get decent grades and have an accumulative like grade average and stuff in these subjects throughout your whole high school career, which is 4 years long. Top Writer says, hey, I just wanted to say you might still get a certificate ceremony. It's not a guarantee at every school, but when I took my GCSEs, we had the celebration of a results day. Everyone congregates at the school to collect their results in an envelope. It's not a formal event, but it's still a big deal. That's cool. But then for my school, at least, they had GCSE certificate presentation evening. They weren't caps and gowns, but we did go up one by one and collect our certificates from the school head teacher. And if your daughter does A-levels, those always have a presentation evening. My daughter is waiting her A-level results next week, but her school have already planned a presentation evening for December. Well, best of luck to her. Generally, things are a lot more low-key in the UK for this stuff, but it doesn't mean that we don't celebrate the achievements, of course. I suppose the chief difference here is that it's in more of an individual celebration. I think that's nice because it allows people to tailor it to their own life experiences. GCSEs are important, but they're just a stepping stone. You can't leave school at 16 anymore. You have to do something education-based. The difference is you do an apprenticeship or a vocational course. You might not finish at 18, so the finish line is a little muddier. Okay. Also, signing shirts is sacred. It's a really big deal, and not to mention a lot of fun. Aw. I still have my shirt from school with everyone's signatures on it and all the doodles. Some schools do also have yearbooks as well, but they're definitely less intense than the US. I suppose another takeaway would just be that there's a lot more variety in the UK. Different schools have different traditions. For example, on the last day before study leave at my old school, the leavers would always embark on a series of pranks, though that did end up getting banned eventually when one took too far. Shocking. No, that was good. Thank you that was a lot of information. Thank you. I do appreciate it. I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm like trying to push any like point of view or perception or anything onto anybody. I'm not saying like the American way is better or that's how what they should do here or anything. I'm explaining that I am as a mother and having my child in America for so long, it just hit me recently that that's something that she's not going to experience. And that's something I have a little bit of a loss on just because that was my expectation. But I fully understand that I live in a different country and things are different and I have to assimilate, and she's fine with whatever happens and everything. But it's just really, you know, as a parent, those of you who are parents or have children in your life, you always have an idea of like how it's going to go, right? Like how their life's going to be, just at least those like pivotal like moments, like when they get married, when they have a child, when, you know, they move out on their own for the first time or something like that. And high school graduation in American lifestyle is part of that. And that's just something that I'm not going to get to experience with her. It is what it is. I accept it, but it's something I'm still, you know, it's there. Richard says it helps to be married to an English lord. Yeah, I mean, that would probably help me. Maybe I should trade in for a better model. I have to get my indefinite leave to remain first, though. Just kidding. If you're in the immigration, just kidding. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Joem. I appreciate it. It's helping keep us ad-free. I appreciate that very, very much. Keeps me from doing live reads. I do live reads for the channel, and that's it so far. Knock on wood. Ritual Trucker says, been checking up on AC. That's the public job. Do put in AC. I think it's going to have, I think it should be something governments do. I agree with you, Virtual Trucker. I do think it's something that at least the British governments are going to have to look into because it's a health issue. It's going to become a health issue. I mean, it's already affecting farming and crops. I mean, I was watching something before we went live about how like crops are down, like crops have to be harvested sooner rather than later because they don't have enough like fertilizer and all that to actually harvest them properly or let them grow to their full capacity, their full maturity. And so all the food quality is going to start going down and everything. So it's going to be bad. And they're also talking about like, there is a small possibility, but a possibility that you have to go back to rationing in order to make sure everyone's fed. So obviously air conditioning has nothing to do with that. However, that's a rain issue, but like air conditioning is like this isn't going away. It's not going away. It might not always be this bad where we have 5 heat waves in one area at the same time, but it's not going to go away. We have to figure out some things. The government has to figure out some things. I'm not a fan of air conditioning either. I know I talk about it a lot on this channel, but it's just because it's been so freaking hot this year. And some of these houses get really insanely hot. I'm not a huge fan of air conditioning. I just like it when I'm sleeping when it's hot because I have trouble sleeping in the heat, as I think most people do. And also, I think it's, a health issue for elderly and sick people and all that. We need to be more careful. Disco says, if I went into politics, I think I would make it obligatory to do the can whilst wearing Doc Marten boots. Such an idiot. Richard says, I graduated from university. Congratulations. What in? I'm curious, Richard. What did you study? Excuse me. Mick MacArthur says, hello, Mick. Glad to have you. Lady Astor said to Churchill, if you were my husband, I would put poison in your food. And Churchill's reply was, madam, if I was married to you, I would eat it. Oh, jeez. They sound like they would be good friends at a dinner party. Richard says, I was in low-level guerrilla war with the school authority. Why does it not surprise me, Richard? Not in the slightest. F11 says, I remember finishing GCSEs with shirt signing and A-levels with a yearbook with pictures and for people to sign, which was nice. Honestly, though, not really looked at it since. Yeah, I mean, I think I said in that video as well that I recognize that it might not be something like yearbooks might not be something that is worth the money. I do recognize that because I don't even know that I have my yearbook. They weren't in my boxes, so I probably threw them out. Unless there's still stuff sitting in the US somewhere. No Mick MacArthur, no party. Hell yeah. Yes, I said maths, apparently the correct way. Richard said, I did my A-levels at sixth form college. I just went to the pub with my friends. Nice. Mick says, I got kicked out of school at 15 and told never to come back. And I never did. Started work 2 weeks after that. I mean, they did that back then, though, didn't they? I mean, my partner is not much older than me. And, he went to school. He left school at 16. So... Hello, Carlos. Thank you for being here. It says yo from York. Yo. Yo from Kent. 'Tis hot again. Yes. Well, we had a really nice day here in Kent today. Even my bedroom was remarkably comfortable. I literally sat in there for a little bit today. It was the first time in a long time. But yeah, it's going to get hot again. So who knows? So I won't sleep for another 4 days. Great. Never heard of a high school diploma. Interesting. Yes. We get actual diplomas. I actually have mine. I don't have mine. It's not in here. It might be in here, actually. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Is it in here? This is my high school diploma. It says North Brunswick Township High School on the front, North Brunswick, New Jersey. That was the town that I grew up in. That was my high school's name. It's a long story. I'm just looking at it to see if there's anything on there that I don't care about that can't be on camera. So that is a picture of what the school looked like when I actually graduated from it. It's much bigger now. They've added on to it since and everything, and then that is my actual diploma. So it says North Brunswick Township High School. This certifies that Mandy L. Slater, it's my maiden name, has satisfactorily completed all the requirements for graduation as established by the North Brunswick Township Board of Education and the New Jersey State Board of Education, and is therefore awarded this diploma given this month of June 1996. and then it's signed by the president of the Board of Education, the principal of the school, which is the equivalent of your head teacher, and the superintendent, which is, I don't know the difference between the president and the superintendent. They're both on the school board, though. So that's, see, you actually get this. So you get a diploma. It's not something that like is just talked about and you just like you walk in your cap and gown. You actually do get the diploma. They used to give it rolled up in like a scroll, if you will. But yeah, they actually do it. See, I'm not lying. I'm not pretending. Guys, let's check out the poll results real quick, and then we are getting ready for our live stream in a few minutes. 5 minutes or so. Where is the poll? Where's the poll? Where is the poll? I can't find the poll, y'all. I can't do it. The poll. Do I come off as though I'm not happy living here in the UK? And y'all are still voting. 23 votes so far. 17% say yes, 22% say maybe, and 61% say no. See, that yes number wears me down a little bit because I can't believe, I really can't believe it. I don't know. I just don't see it. I am legitimately baffled that people think I don't like living here or that like I'd rather live in the US. Someone left a comment saying that that I come off as though like I would jump at the chance to move back to the United States if something changed. No. I mean, it would be difficult for me, like for my family. First of all, I wouldn't want to leave my family behind. I just leave my options open. I never thought I would move outside of the United States, ever. I never thought I would move to England. It wasn't even on my radar. It was on our radar and then off our radar. And then we're like, oh, maybe. And then no. And then we're like, okay, we're settled now. We have the house. The kid is getting older, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we'll retire or something like that back in England. But we're in the US. We're settled. And then all these things started happening, you know, beyond our control around us and started to put us in a position where we're like, this is just not working. Like, it's not working for us anymore. We're working our asses off. We're getting nowhere. We're just constantly under stress about one thing or another. The climate's changing around us. No one's really trying to help the average everyday person. And our daughter's in danger, you know, very real danger. So, you know, that's when I started to consider it. And I actually have a video coming out. I don't know if it's coming out tomorrow or sometime this week. My reflection on making that choice, actually. But it is interesting. And it is really, it's just really, really baffling to me because I never thought that I came off as though I was ready to move back to the United States, because I'm not at the moment. I'm temporary at the moment because of the status that I have been given by the UK government. And I hope to be here permanently because my child is looking to be here permanently, but I don't know. You know, I don't ever say, I never say never, because now I've already done it once. So that means I can do it again. It just depends on, it just depends on the situation, I guess. Right. All right, you guys, I'm trying to catch up here. Oh my gosh, I don't even know what is happening. Piper says, I guess it's interesting to me since to us graduation is purely a university thing. For me and many others, graduating is celebrating the complete end of school while in school. Back in the 2000s, at least the focus was getting students into university. So all secondary schools were trying to push students towards that. So expectation was you would not finish education at 16. I totally hear you. definitely the expectation in the United States as well. Not many people did not go right to college or university after high school. Hi, Nicola. Thanks so much for being here. We are just about to switch over to our members only bonus episode. So definitely become a member if you haven't already. See you there.